We're all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to be what you want to be. You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy. So, what'll I make you? Good? You're not good. You just know how to hide. How to lie. Me, I don't have that problem. Me, I always tell the truth. Even when I lie. So say good night to the bad guy. Come on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again.
Yeah. I was 11 years old when I served my first dime. About 15 when I first did time. Ashamed to say, that ain't the first time. But it didn't hurt me as much as it hurt mom. Shan gave me weed, he sold me coke. Thugs was the one that taught me package up the dope. In the school of hard knocks, you take mental notes. But I quote, this the realest shit I ever wrote. I ain't the one you should provoke, or the bear you should poke. Only you could prevent the fire and the smoke. And quiet singing notes as your family reads your eulogy. As you lie about, they cry about who you used to be. But you dead now, cause you play with him. Let's put our head down as we pray for him. Said he had a gun when you seen him, and he stay like that. Now who you know from the hood gonna play like that? Gone. Walk through my eyes, see what I see. Walk through my streets, nigga, be how I be. For my niggas ain't gon' ride for me. Panic, panic. I'm an outlaw in the general, wanted by the marshal. Just the other day I hit a nigga off his boss. Better have that money. Homie, it could cost you. Man of my word, and bullets spread like the gospel. I wear that crucifix, don't think that I won't cross you. My religion is the truth, you see the light when I off you. If I let you live, you'll be lucky as a horseshoe. But only God forgets I handle biz like a boss do. Careful who you talk to. Nigga, I'm connected. Every nigga in my drug range eat like they precious. Where I draw the line is you niggas drawing sketches. I don't mean to speak in code, just figure that you catch it. My landlord was a fiend, I gave him 4 O's. Now he owe me back rent, cause the building foreclosed. When them building doors closed, I had to line up the block. Plus I'm pimping bitches, getting mine off the top. Flying in the drop, flying when I'm not. Gentrify your hood, yeah, we buying up these blocks. Taking you the truth until you line in the box. Don't get the game twisted, cause you dying on the spot. Gone. Look to my eyes, see what I see. Walk through my streets, nigga, be how I be. For my niggas ain't gon' ride for me. Panic, panic. Hey yo, you see my shirt bulging? I'm a black mass. Call me Whitey Bozier, I come in a black match. You keep your money in the shoebox, angles in the trash bag. Pushing pounds on the phone, no hashtags, nigga, I want it all. I heard your pockets swollen. Sick up the car game where I know everybody's holding. Catch a full house, I have everybody folding. But life is a gamble, give me the dice so I can roll them. Just know that shit can get real. Make the wrong choice and that shit'll get you killed. Size a nigga up, you think he fit the bill? If he costs you your life, is you down to split that bill? Hit him in his legs, then you shoot him in his stomach. He lived the charger to the game, knowing y'all both come from it. Like it is what it is. You did what you did, you think he thinking about your kids? Or thinking about a big? Hell nah, don't let him catch your ass slipping. 2 sides of that coin, and when he see him, he gon' flip him. Or put coins on your head, cause still alive is something different. Now your man calling from prison, like how bad did they hit him? Gone.
I am. A two-time timer, zip by dimer. But a distinctive. Yeah, I was listening to that that track. That's a Drake album, the Iceman. You gotta listen to each one by yourself. Like I get it, man. I seen a lot of the commentary on that boy. Like these are people who you got people out there who just want to see you fail. And there's nothing, and I mean there is absolutely nothing he can do to win those people. Right? You got people who just wait. They waiting for you to do so because they don't like you anyway, right? But they don't got anything to not like you for at first. Maybe you doing bad, whatever it is. But the minute and it could be the pettiest thing, they gonna let you know how they really feel. They're gonna let you know how they really feel, how they been feeling for years if they've been around long enough. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. How y'all doing? Yeah, I mean, how you really doing? Mm-hmm. For real? Me too. Me too. All right. Blessed, highly favored, and all of that. Um, welcome to the As a Man podcast. My name is Dahim, aka Deek the Jeweler. Unlock me. Cause this camera gonna keep on moving around as I move. I got this little webcam has different features with anyway, I digress. That's neither here nor there. Stop doing that though. Um Welcome to the As a Man podcast. This podcast is for the guys, man. You know, it's for the girls too. I mean, it's for the women as well. You know, I mean, there's a lot of information that I have accumulated, gathered, curated over the years that I believe is basically for everybody. But my focus is to build up the leadership, you know, first and foremost in the house, and then we take that out into the world, you know. But this is for those guys in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond who want to actually win at life, right? Um, no motivational fluff. This is not an endless therapy session. This is just straight talk with practical tools you can actually use. And again, my name is Dahim, aka Deek the Jeweler. And I am here to drop them jewels on you. Okay. So transition out. All right, back. So when I put these, I got a lot of episodes to run through. I'm kind of behind, but whose timeline am I on? I'm on my own timeline. I do this when I can, as much as possible. You know, I got some things pre-recorded here and there, whatever. That's forget all of that. But I do want a clear outline. Like I want to do this with a sense of purpose and to look like there's a little bit of direction there because there is. You know, I was very thought out. I put this. You know, I got things written. I got whole scripts written for episodes. Yeah, hey, y'all, Chat GPT help me. Mind your business. I mean, I ain't why I can't use it. Everybody else is using them, yeah. But I mean, I put my heart and soul into them prompts. Like, yo, bro, this is what I really want to talk about. And then as soon as he starts to deviate, or the chat or Grok or whoever starts to deviate from how I sound, I'd be like, nah, I gotta do this the way I want to do it. But with this particular episode, I think I've dealt with enough this week where I'm able to just go off the cuff, so to speak. Um, for all intents and purposes, this has been a quote unquote rough week for me. And so I'm gonna try to squeeze that into the title of this episode. The title of this episode is called Discovering Purpose and Identity. And then the question is, who are you really becoming? Um and I mean we can get right to the bottom of that. Like the answer is I already know the answer. I tend to say this, man. Um there used to be a saying I used to say actually. It used to be the real measure of a man is what he does when no one else is watching, right? But given the week that I'm having or have had, I don't know if it's over. I don't know if the house is going to explode in the next 5 minutes. I would hope not. But I now say you are how you react or how you move in your most tumultuous time when your back's against the wall, when no one else is there, when you don't got nobody you can call, when the chips are down, when everything falls, you have nothing. That's who you are, right? You really want to discover who you are. You want to discover where your purpose lies. It starts when there's nothing. You have nobody. It's just you. And no, it's not just you. It's you and all your problems. Everything is hitting you at the same time. Let me tell you how my week started. My work week, because I usually have Sundays and Mondays off. So Sunday, amazing. We had a great day. On Monday, me, I decide that, I'll tell my wife, yo, babe, well, since we're not going to church as often as we should be, or I think that we should be. Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm a Bible thumper, Christ fearing man. I don't got nothing. If you don't believe like that's not you, cool. That's and I don't to each his own. That you follow something else, or that's what I do. That's I'm one of those guys. But anyway, I told my wife, I was like, yo, babe, let's start doing Bible studies and start studying the Bible together. Um, and I've done this. I've been in this arena before where I really want to have that close relationship with God, and then I know what it looks like, and I know that the last 5 years my life hasn't exactly looked like that, but I'm always gonna be a firm believer. I'm always never going to, I'm never going to stray too far in my mind from what that looks like. Even in my darkest times when um I was out there doing things I know I shouldn't have been doing, to try to cope with my reality at that time. Whether it was drinking, doing drugs, whatever it was, you know. But I never strayed too far. Um, so I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I'm married now. I'm working. I got a job. I've been working for almost 3 years now. This is the longest time I ever kept a job. I'm proud of myself. I pat myself on the back whenever I can. I don't do it as often as I should, but I let um my children's laughter or the fact that they'll tell me they thank me for something here and there. I mean, those would be the pats on the back I take these days. But I digress. Tell you my work week. Tuesday, I go outside. Me every morning. I get up. Take a shower, get ready, I'm heading out the door. My wife says the same thing, baby. Have a good day. And I always say the same thing back. I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try. Lord willing, I'm gonna try my best. But mind you, Monday, because not on Sunday we didn't do the Bible study. We did it on Monday, and I specifically told her right after the Bible study was done. I said, babe, being that we're taking this, this journey together. We about to get back into the word. We about to like, go hard for God. It's about to get hard for us. Like it's about to get real. And she looked at me, tilted her head to the side, like, what does that even mean? I'm like, well, in my experience, and I can only go off of my own experiences when it comes to how things tend to pan out. I told my wife, like, in my experience, anytime I said I wanted something from God and I wanted to really follow him and I wanted to do the right thing, um, I'm not gonna say immediately after. This was kind of like the quickest time that I got this answer that God heard me. Um, Things tend to fall apart around me. I kid you not. I've never been one of those guys where, you got those people in your hood and they're causing the most mischief. They out there doing the most. They robbing, they stealing, and you thinking to yourself like, yo, this dude don't never get in trouble. Like, those guys, they just unruly. They're just out there doing the most. They doing the most. And you're saying to yourself, like, you don't wish bad on anybody. I mean, I don't know, maybe if he did something to you, maybe that's what you're thinking, but you just know, like, this is impossible. How is he getting away, or she's getting away, or they're getting away with all this mischief, right? But then you got people like me, where I could jaywalk, and I'm in trouble like that. So they have, they understand that as it's called vessels of wrath and vessels of mercy. Some people God shows mercy to, but when they do get in trouble, they get smacked. Boom, 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 boom. Then they get it. But then you got vessels of wrath where they're you're not getting the grace that you might see other people get. Those people just getting away with, or they think they're getting away with all the mischief. Oh, don't worry. If they don't get they right, it's coming. And it's gonna be sometimes it's not even something they could come back from. Hold on, get out of here. I need you to okay, and then do it again. Let me do this. If it's up to me, oh, this is hold on. Anyway, um, just some people that they don't get the opportunity to mess up too many times. I'm one of those. I'm one of those guys. As soon as I even think about doing something I know I shouldn't be doing, it's coming my way. Period. Straight like that. This week, you know, was one of those weeks where I knew I knew it was gonna be real. It was gonna be a real week because I did that Bible study, and um like I said, I had a conversation with my wife and I told her that it was about to get real, and she was just like, what does that even mean? And I was just like, in my experience, man, anytime I tell God I'm serious, I'm ready to do, I'm ready to follow him, it usually followed by a lot of just nonsense, stupid stuff. I don't care what it is, man. I walk out the house on Tuesday. I park my car in the front, and I the car was going. My brain, my brain couldn't compute. Like it didn't make sense. I'm like, I looked up the street. Did I park up the street today? Did I park across the street? Because sometimes I do that. It's not always an open slot right in front of the crib, but sometimes that happens. I do that. So I'm sitting there like, and it's like I just can't. It's just not registering to me at first. You know, it was so crazy. I called the police. I mean, I'm a taxpayer now. They got to come do their job. Like somebody took my car, so I called the police, and I'm like, yeah, I'm calling. My car is gone. And he's like, and this was so funny. I'm like, my car is gone. It's like, wait, what's your address? I tell him the address. Oh no, don't worry about that. No. It's in good hands. Yeah, we got it. It's good. Don't worry about that. No, your car hasn't been stolen. We got your car. I'm like, huh? Yeah. No. Just don't worry about it. No, your fears. Your fears. Just dumb them down. Don't worry. You can rest assured that your car is in good hands. Cause we have it. Albany police. We have your car. And I'm laughing. I start giggling with them. They're like, yeah, don't worry about it. And they say, so just get down to the courthouse and take care of your tickets and you can get your car back. And I'm thinking to myself, what tickets? What tickets? What tickets I got? I'm the most Larry, you know, Tom and Jerry, no cat and mouse nonsense over here. I don't what tickets? Long story short, that's how it started. That was my day, Tuesday morning. Because my work week starts on Tuesday. Today would be my Friday. You know, calculate it, add it up. I go into work, um, Uber, like $25 just to get there. So obviously that's gonna be just right from the beginning. Uh get to work. At some point, I say about like 3:30, 4 o'clock, I get a call. Matter of fact, my wife calls my my one of my best friends that I work with calls him because we work together, me and my guy, Brian. Calls him and he's coming to me like, hey man, because I seen that you called. It was some missed calls. Seen that you called, but I was, working with a client and I was telling myself I'm just calling back. But Brian comes to me and he's like, yo, your wife's on the phone. So I knew it was serious. And so I take the phone, I run in the bathroom. I'm like, what's up? What's up? You know, what's going on? And so, you know, she and I, we've been trying, and this is the first time I've ever like put a mind to doing this, but we've been trying to have a child together. She has her children, I have mine, but we don't share the child together. I mean, we share our children and responsibilities and roles and all that, but we don't have a child together. And this is the first time that, we've been trying to have a child. And so we've had some setbacks and mishaps. And it didn't, I didn't even think this type of stuff would bother me. And I'm saying it like I'm minimizing it, this type of stuff, but we've had two situations so far where it just didn't, it started off good and then, you know, it ended in sorrow, hurt. Um, and that was unfortunate both times, super unfortunate. The second time, I mean, I even shed a tear, and it takes a lot for me to get teary eyed. I mean, period. So she calls me and she's telling me that she's experiencing something that's similar to something she's experienced in the past. And I'm devastated. I'm in a bathroom devastated. Oh my God. I'm hurt already. So immediately I come out, you know, and I'm gonna get real deep. And but this is all going somewhere, so just stick with me. I assure you it gets greater later. Do not leave before the miracle happens. I assure you, right? So I come out the bathroom, and first thing, Brian, he's that friend that's, what's going on? Can I help? Can I help? Tell me what I can do. What's the problem? He's that guy. White guy. And not like he's like the friend you want though. You know what I mean? The white guy, I don't know why I threw that in there, but the reason why I threw that in there is because he's like super nerdy, but tries to be cool, and I love it because that's how he is, right? But I come out the bathroom, I couldn't even like get 2 steps. He's in my face, like, "Hey, what's going on? What happened?" And I'm trying to explain to him, but my day's still hitting me. The car, down this, and now he's in my face, and I'm trying my best not to just go off. You ever been in a situation before where you haven't even gotten a moment to process while you're trying to process another situation coming? You can't process that, so you just trying to process the process, and you just like, what is going on? And so, I try to quickly let him know what was going on, but in the back of my mind, I'm automatically thinking while I'm at work, at the obligation that I have at work. I don't want these people to think that I'm trying to pull, some type of scam to get out of work or leave. When you keep these type of things in your mind when you're there, you got obligations. I just telling y'all what I deal with, So I'm like, dang, I don't want these people to think that I'm trying to do some funny stuff. Have my it so happened she called it exactly 4 o'clock. So I started thinking, they might think that's suspicious. So everybody's like, hey man, after I tell them what's going on, one of the people at my job was like, no, you gotta go home. You gotta go to your wife. You gotta go to your wife. Your family's more important. And I think like, my reaction probably was off to them, a little off. Like this can't be really that serious if um the first thing you're thinking about is work related stuff. Like, I was like, nah, I mean you know, she's going to the hospital. I can meet her there, it's 2 hours. I'll be off or whatever. I can go then and they're looking at me sideways. And that's just the way I saw it at the time. And they don't understand that I'm just trying to keep my cool about all of this, you know. So, going there makes it more real for me. And I'm just trying to keep my cool. This is all still happening on a Tuesday, the day after we had the Bible study, the day after I told my wife, like, it's about to get real. It's like God got the message and text me right back. Nah, matter of fact, he popped up. So after all that was settled, they basically kicked me out, told me you gotta go home, take care of your family, go home and be with your wife in this moment that she's dealing with, that you're dealing with. You know, go home, go to the hospital, and I think it's just that, like I said, I'm in my back of my mind. I just like that guilt of not wanting the people that I work with to think that it's some funny stuff. I'm taking pictures from the hospital, sending it to them, and then what was lost on me is I've earned the right to be trusted. And sometimes I feel like I don't, though. Sometimes I feel like I did. I should never have to be questioned because I don't give you anything to question about. But even still, I'm still discovering this person that I am now. I've never been a guy who held on to a job. That these relationships that I built with these people, I've earned this right where I I don't have to be questioned, but I'm questioning myself still in that moment where I'm having a real emergency at home. I'm feeling guilty about leaving, but my family's forever. My wife is forever. Whatever we're dealing with at home is forever, but I'm still feeling guilty that I'm leaving early. All of this has to do with that discovery. And I feel like all these situations are placed, you know, at your feet. They show up to your door. They're, you know, given right to you for you to go through this discovery, right? Um, get to the hospital, everything, we're there from like 4 to like 11 at night. By the grace of God, she just was experiencing, um, I don't know, let's say in the nicest way, she was experiencing an excessive amount of spotting. I guess that I say it that I'm gonna say it that way because I don't want to talk too much about her business in that way, and I don't know how she would feel. But and it was scary to her because we experienced that before, and that turned out really bad. Um, and but it ended better than I thought it would. Right now, we're still good. So thank God, thank God. Um, next day, next day went by Wednesday. Where next day went by without a hitch. I mean, on top of the fact that my car's still with the police and they're holding it down, it's in good hands. The cops got it. Um, but how that came to me was about a year ago. A friend of mine asked me if I can add him to my car insurance. He wanted to put a car on the road. And without hesitation, I was like, yeah, of course. Now, how I know this dude, I know him from the past. We street dude. We used to do our ones and twos. This is my guy, you know? So I still have that loyalty to the people from my past that knew me as the street dude. I don't know. I want to look like I'm still keeping it real, right? I got you without question, 100% certainty. Well, he done caught a whole bunch of parking tickets, running light, all types of stuff. When they're running my plates, when they're running my plates, anything that's under my name, whatever, is they're gonna treat it like I did it because I did. Essentially, my name pop up. So this accumulated to about, I think it was like, because I talked it down. I got him to drop the amount that I had to pay, but it was like $1,600, $1,700 in tickets that I had to pay. Just that. That's just the ticket. But then every day that the car stays in the place, they charge $75 a day. And there's like a initial fee. So that was an additional $500 plus taxes. The man gonna get you. So my mind, I'm like, I gotta hurry up and get this out because I can't afford it. Thursday come through, and that was the day. I'm like, I gotta go do this. Um, I'm a few dollars short. I mean, there's only like two people I could even fix my face to call and ask for help in a situation like that. I called the one person, I let them know, and it's like, if this person says no, who I'm gonna call? Saul? So I called this person, and they're like, yo, listen, I ain't got it. Let me see what I could do, though. They didn't say no. They say, let me see what I could do. So um they came for me. They came through for me as much as they could, you know. It ended up having to be, I had to connect with one other person that I never even had to come to this person like this. But in my mind, I knew the rapport. Again, this new person that I am, I've earned this trust, you know, but I'm still doubting and questioning. Like, do these people see me as this person that I think I see myself as now? Um, I hope, right? So I went to them and let them know, and I was just 100% vulnerable, 100% open, and was just like, listen, this is what I'm dealing with. Can you help me? And without hesitation, she was like, what do you need? No hesitation. What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? A car? Would you need a car for a few days? You need money? What do you need? And I was like, yeah, I need a few dollars. What you need? And it was, just the number. She was just like, what, five? It didn't matter. She was just like, I got you. And so she came through, and I was just sitting there like, dang, that was. I wish I had the easy button. That was easy. But it felt good to know that you have that support. Um, Thursday, I leave work to go to the courthouse to take care of the situation. I get there, and like I said, they tell me what the bill is. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But one of the guys that was working there, he was like, "I'm gonna help you out. You can knock some of these off of there." And I'm explaining it to them, like, "Listen, this is not even a car that I'm driving right now. This is a whole nother." It's like, yeah, well, how it works is, once they run it, they're gonna hit you for, and you're gonna take care of all of it. Before you can even get this car back, you gotta pay all of this. And I was just like, yeah, that happened. But I couldn't do it. Um, I couldn't do it that day because, even after I paid all the tickets off, that hurt. Ooh, you ever been counting out money? It's the bill, and it's a bill. You like, "Dang, I could have did so much stuff. This is something that I couldn't account for everything else going on financially. I know what the light bill is. I know what the rent is gonna be. I know what the card note is. I know how much money I need for gas. I pretty much very frugal when it comes to money. Even in my heyday, I was very frugal. I spent what I knew I could spend. I never was foolish with money. Like I never, ever, ever, ever. Even back in the '60s, I kept every dollar. And, it was accounted for. It had some place to go with meaning, so to speak, within reason. Let me be honest, you know. But when it's just something that just hits you sideways, you like, dang. Um, get to the courthouse, pay it off. They tell me I call the tow truck place, the yard that's holding the car. I call them like, all right, I got this paper. Where do I go? They tell me that I gotta go to Schenectady. The yard is in Schenectady, and show them the paper. I get to Schenectady just for them to tell me that no, your car is in Albany. And these is all Ubers. Mind you, what's crazy was when I was on my way to the courthouse, took an Uber from my job, was going to the courthouse. I had to stop at my house. So this is all money. Like, this is all stops. I had to pay for this stop at my house to get the car key because I forgot to grab them that morning because I had been in a habit of driving anyway. So I forgot them. Had to stop here to get the keys, and in the middle of that, I left my phone in the house. So when the Uber driver dropping me off, I realized I don't got my phone. I'm like, yo, can I pay you to spin me back? He's like, no, no, I got another ride. I got another ride right there. He showing me his phone. I'm like, yo, brother, you see I don't got my phone. Please let me just pay you. I'll pay you double with the. He's like, I got another ride. I got it 5 stars. He's like, I gotta keep my. I was like, oh my god, can I use your phone? He let me use the phone. Call my wife. Tell my wife, yo, catch your Uber over here. She's like, you. As soon as I called, she picked up the phone. You sure did. Yes, you did. She like, you get, yup, you left it. She's like, we she come with the phone, catch the Uber, disconnect, go over there, just for them to tell me that the car's over here. Place closes at 4:30. That's another day, another 75. So yesterday, I ended up getting the car. I picked the car up. Tell me to be there at the yard. I gotta be to work at 9. They tell me I gotta get the car. The place opens up at 9. I tell my boss ahead of time. Like, I'm gonna be picking my car up in the morning. I tell him this Thursday night, picking my car up in the morning, whatever, whatever. I get there, there's nobody there. I call their number. They like, yeah, well, the guy, he's out picking up another car. He about to ruin someone else's week too. I don't know if they're ruining other people's week too. Um, he don't get back to the yard till about like 9:37. He was cool. The highlight of my week was this one guy. The guy who was picking up someone else, like he had went and towed someone else's car. He comes through. He was so cool, man. Like, whoever, I forget your name, but this dude was super cool, bro. And I really appreciate him. He was the highlight of my week because he was super cordial. He was even, um, a little remorseful about what he does. I mean, he could have just been saying that, but I really felt he was genuine in what he was saying. He's like, I mean, I hate doing this. He said, I can get it if it was a car, somebody was driving drunk, they got pulled over, and we towing those type of cars. But I hate just picking people's cars up for like traffic tickets or parking tickets and stuff like that. And I was like, man, only if you knew. Um, Head to work. I'm driving, and immediately I noticed that my steering wheel is stuck like this now. I mean, I'm driving and my cruise control don't work no more. I can hear the wheel, like the ball joints or whatever. I can hear it feels like it's loose. Like if I hit the wrong bump, the front of the car is just gonna drop. They like whenever they towed it, they demolished my car, like destroyed it. You know, I gotta drive with two hands. I used to like be cool, just hand on the bottom of the wheel, just drive. I can't even, man. They destroyed it. I call them and I'm like, yo, listen, my car is like messed up. Like, who do I talk to about getting this fixed? Like, I don't know. Like, is this on me? Is the onus on me to take care of this? Because you guys told it. Like somebody got to be responsible. I didn't do this. You guys had a job to come get it, and I took care of what I had to take care of. Somebody got to take care of this, and it can't be me because I'm almost tapped out right now. And it's like, well, first thing homeboy said on the phone, like this was about to go bad, and I know y'all sitting there thinking, damn, does it ever get good? Hold on, hold on. Because that's not even the point. I assure you, that's not even the point. There's a deeper meaning here. Remember, this whole episode, this whole week, I'm gonna sum it up. This is discovering purpose and identity. Who are you really becoming? That's the whole premise of this. I'm just trying to. Usually, I'll have a whole script that I read off of. I have like points I want to make, but I can do all of that with this little story, my week, right? Um, Homeboy says to me over the phone, well, I'm not calling you a liar, but we get, and I'm like, nah, bro. Nah, bro. We're not even going, that's not even how you want to start this conversation. That's not even how you want to do this. I mean, I don't have to lie. If it was on me, I'll take care of it. My car would have been fixed if this is how I was driving around, right? Um, but yeah, like this is definitely not how you guys picked my car up. It's not like this is destroyed. And then he says like he's gonna have it. He's gonna look through, because there's guys wear body cams and all this nonsense that had nothing to do with me. We had a discussion. They said I could bring it in. They're gonna look at it and see what could be done if they're gonna compensate or if they got some guys that's gonna fix it. But it's a Mercedes, so I already contacted them like Mercedes, and they say that just bring it to them, and then they'll give me a full assessment of how much it's going to cost. But I digress. That's not even the point. I go to work today, and usually, no matter what's going on, I have a very jovial disposition. I'm a very upbeat person. It really takes a lot for me to be to even appear downcast, right? Or look, for you to really see how I'm really feeling. If it's going bad, if I'm going through, you'll never know. But today it was noticeable because I had this one person I work with kept asking me, like, are you okay, Deek? Is everything okay? Like, I know you're going through a lot. And like I said, sometimes when that happens, that kind of makes what you're dealing with come to the top too. But I maintain I was, like, nah, I'm good. I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with, whatever the case may be. But I noticed like, dang, I'm letting this get to me. And usually, like I said, I don't. I see this coming. I know that this is gonna happen. I mean, on Monday we had that Bible study. I knew that this is gonna happen. Right. I usually go when I start, when I'm into the Bible. One of my favorite books in the Bible is the book of Job. Like his story, the story of Job is so impactful if you can understand it and take from it which you need to take from it. And one of my favorite scriptures, and I'm gonna paraphrase here because I can't say I know it like by heart, but it says to consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. And ultimately, it says it produces perseverance, and you need perseverance to finish the work or the good work. So I usually tell people that, when you're going through hard times, get excited. And I usually do. I usually get excited when stuff is going, you know, falling down around me. This week, you know, I discovered that I ain't really been on my mission spiritually like I thought I was. I mean, when it's good and you ain't got nothing to complain about, it's really, where's the test? Everything's good. It's good to praise God and say that you're a devoted Christian, devoted disciple, or whatever you want to identify yourself. It's good when it's good, but when it's bad, you really see who you are. And I truly believe that sometimes God will do all this to you or allow all this to happen just so that you can look at yourself and like get a glimpse at who you are right now, this moment. How you really doing, bro? Oh, word? You doing good? For real? You got like you really fucking with me? For real? Word? All right, boom, let's see. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's how you get under duress. Oh, that's how you look when you stress. I seen how you look when you blessed, but now your life is a mess. And what's next? Let me see. And that is the best part. That's the best part. Sometimes God will allow things to happen to you, and it's just so that He can expose the people that surround you too. Who's really there for you? Who's really your friend? You know, who's really riding for you? Those same people that call you all year long, ask you for this or that, or they just want to whatever. That one time that you called them, disappear, gone. Yo, I'm gonna call you right back, bro. I got you. That's my word. You don't hear from them. Boom. Until they see you doing good again, and then it's like, yo, they don't even want to talk about that. You can't even bring it like, yo, whatever happened to that situation, man? They ain't even gonna do that. They're gonna act like it's everything is, they don't want to talk about that time, that one time that you needed them. Because they so used to needing you're the guy. You're their go-to guy. And you'll be a fool to continue to deal with them on that same level. I mean, it's one thing to harbor feelings toward a person where you get funny with them because then you're no better than them. But then you just sometimes you just gotta look at people and see them like yeah, nah, and then respect it. But more often than not, people will show you who they are all along the way. You just turn a blind eye to it in the interest of saying that you're a good person or that you're a bigger person. But sometimes the point is cut off all this dead weight. Gotta do that. And if you continue to allow that to stick around or allow certain situations to continue being a part of your life, he's going to strip it away. So he'll let you look at it like, listen, this got to go. I'm about to bless you with something, but this can't be there when I get back. Or this can't be there before that blessing comes. You got to get rid of this. All of this over here, you got to get rid of that. You can't hang out with it. I don't want you because they don't deserve to be there when it's time for these blessings. Going back, old boy that I had put someone I considered a friend. I allowed him to get on my insurance, and they say there's no good deed goes unpunished. I allowed this person to get on it, and he just $1,700 cash. Did I call him? Yeah, I called him. Like, yo, bro, da. But you gotta remember, he called me for help, right? I'm in a mindset. This is my mindset. This is just me. You can't really go to people that for help that's always coming to you for help, and that's them. Like this is their pattern. Sometimes people change. Sometimes people change, and if you like me, you want to see that change. You're hoping that they get it. They get it together. You're helping. You're doing your part to ensure that they get it together. But sometimes, more often than not, in my experience, it's just there's just those people, and they're around you just so you can see that, but you overlook it, and then you allow these people to be attached to you. I had a conversation with somebody this week. Was it this week? Maybe it was last week. I can't recall. But she and I, we have our little dealings. I ain't gonna get too personal with this particular, so it's kind of sensitive, but um she called me broke, which is a word I identify with. I know what it is to be broke. I'm not afraid of that word. Like that word doesn't do anything to me, my ego, my like I know what it is to be broke. When I was growing up, my mom had 11 kids and 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom apartments we stayed in sometimes. I mean, I, I could say we probably was broke a few times. Never broken though. We always had love. We was always good. I mean, I don't even remember with that. How that would have been important at those times because with all the love and you know the fact that we were tight knit, still are to this day. Like so, but she said that as a way to kind of I think I don't know maybe she was trying to make me feel small or insignificant, and I just had to tell her like, oh, well, I made I made a substantial amount. I said a number. It was a nice amount. I said I made damn near 6 figures last year. So I don't know if that's broke, but I did say uh I'm not broke. I just got a lot of beggars attached to me. You know, and I said that, and I maybe I shouldn't have said it that way, but I said it because it's like I'm not trying to justify it. I said it because I felt like you're trying to peg me as something because you can't get what you want out of it, right? You want something, you want from me a life or something. You want more from me than I want from me. Like I don't live that type of life. I'm not doing that type of stuff. I'm not paying for a life that I don't even see the importance of. You know, people will try to take from you, um, not even if you have it or not, but people will try to get from you to, try to get you to support a life that you don't even live. So just because I don't have what you want, not even a need, what you want, I'm this. And so I said that. And God forgive me, I said it. I said it. Beggars, you know. That's how I looked at it at that moment. Um, did I mean it? Hell yeah, I meant it. Do I believe that? It can be perceived that way, but sometimes it's just when you out here, you're doing all the work and you're doing the best that you could with what you have, and you don't really, you don't really get that ask and wouldn't ask if you could, and feel guilty when you do. You go around it, your pride. Like I mean, me, you know what it took for me to ask somebody for help, man. Sheesh. But again, peeling this all back, right? What did I learn? What did I learn? This week, I learned that as a man, as a man, as a man, you must, and I mean this with all of my heart, yo. You must realize that some people are just not meant to be in your life, yo. Right? That's not you being funny, right? You've grown. You're not that same person. Sometimes it's hard dealing with the fact that you've outgrown some relationships. And there's no direct correlation to to that and money. Like that doesn't mean it could be a person that got more money than you that you gotta cut out. They ain't got nothing to do with money. Some people are just reckless with their decisions. And those decisions can have a real life effect on you at where you are and what you're trying to do. I learned that this, like, I mean, I knew this stuff, but I'm out here sashaying around, just still buddying it up with dudes that I know aren't even close to where I'm at and the type of decisions that I'm willing to make and the type of decisions that I'm making on a daily basis. I used to have the mindset where, I mean, even now, I definitely have it now, where when I was in the streets and I was doing street stuff, I would not drive my car with another person who was doing what I was doing because I didn't know what, what that person might have on them, but I know what I have on me, and I know I wouldn't even let them get in my car. I looked at them as if they was a whole brick of cocaine. Like, yeah, getting caught with a felon in my car and knowing that I'm already a felon, I don't like that's like a whole nother brick. Like, I ain't driving around with no brick in my car. Ah, yo, bro, can I get a ride? No, you cannot, brother. No, no, you cannot. So, I know what it's like to cut off certain people, but then there's those other people that, they're not doing that type of stuff or they're not living a certain type of life. It's just the type of person they are. It's the decisions. You can't attach certain people to you. And sometimes God is going to expose that. I take full responsibility though for all my decisions, right? Whatever's happening right now, wherever it has happened, is my fault. As a man, I'm not blaming nobody. Yeah, old boy, da da da. That's why I didn't. I'm not asking you to, compensate. I mean, I'll mention it if you feel it in your heart, but I can't depend on you coming through for me because I gotta show up for me all the time. You know, I realize now, 100% certainty that who I am right now as a man, um, people, places, and things. The further I get away from that old version of myself, the closer I get to God's true purpose for me. And I'm not trying to be overly like preachy, but I am a man of God, and I love my relationship with God. So I will never be a time where I'm ashamed or I don't want, I feel like I'm gonna lose my people here, people on Facebook, my people on YouTube, my people on Twitch, because I don't want them to feel like I'm coming off too preachy. I don't listen. That's you. This is where I'm at, and this is how I see it. I see everything first on a spiritual level. God is the center of my life. The center. And when I met my wife, before we even started dating, I told her if we ever was to get in a relationship, gotta be the center of our relationship. That means don't come to me first. Go to him first. Because that's who I'm going to first. We can meet. Let him be the mediator. Let the word tell us how to deal with this. Like I was saying earlier in the book of Job, this man was someone that God favored. He was blessed, uh, you know, with abundance. He was doing great in God's eyes. I explained it, I was explaining this story to one of my sons one time, and he really couldn't. Like he's like, because sometimes the Bible, if you haven't had a relationship with reading the Bible, you don't have no real true understanding. Sometimes you need somebody to break it down. So I put it in language so that he can make those connections that was important for him, so he could take away from it. So how I explained it to him was that first and foremost, in the book of Job, how it starts, it goes off where um God and Lucifer, Satan, the devil, whoever you want to identify them, those are all three different entities, but that's for another conversation. But God and Lucifer is having a conversation, and no, God and Satan is having a conversation. And he's like, yo, because he asked him like, yo, like, what you been up to? And the devil is like, man, you know me, man, I'll be moving around. This is not what the Bible says. I'm just paraphrasing, but I'm putting it in the way where, so this is all, I'm bringing all this, bringing it all full circle. So just, this is the best part. Stick around. You get greater later. Don't leave before the miracle happens. So he's having a conversation with Satan, and he like, yo, what you been up to? Lucifer like, yo, Satan like, yo, you know me, I've been, just moving around doing my thing, moving, going here and there, you know how I do. And then God asked him, like, yo, you heard about, in the Bible it says, have you considered my servant Job? And that, when I first read that, and I, after I got into the story, I was like, why did God do that? Like, but it's funny. The irony is that's like, don't even question God. But it did make me think, like, why would he even bring attention to this guy that you love so much? Like, why would you even have him go bother him like that? And I'm about to break it all down to y'all. And this is why this week is amazing. This is why this week is so good, and y'all don't even see it. Mhm. So he's like, have you considered my servant Job? Basically, he was like, yo, you heard about Job? And Satan was like, yeah, man, I heard about him. I heard he doing good. I know that's your boy, but he only worships you. He only, like you and love you and all that because you keep taking care of him. I bet you if you let me do what I do to him, I bet you he won't be messing with you no more. I bet you he won't be praying or worshiping you like he do, you know? And ultimately, God was like, yo, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna hold you to that. Let's see that. Let's see how this pans out. He said, I'm almost, no, not almost. God said, yes, he would. And matter of fact, I'm gonna let you go do what you do. The only thing I won't let you do is to harm him. But I'm gonna let you do what you do, right? So I kind of look at Lucifer in this, Satan at this point is like a prosecutor. That's how this made sense to me. Like the DA, when you go into court, I done been to court a few times. When you go into court, the DA's job is to build a case up against you to show the judge that you deserve 100 years in jail for 3 grams of cocaine. That's how I look at Satan in the book of Job. He's like, yo, yeah, man, this guy, he's not innocent like you think he is. Yeah, we got all types of, if I bet you if you give me a minute, I could build a case against him. And God was like, hey, go do your thing. And so that's what he did. Lucifer went, and I mean, he took everything from him. Family, his livestock, his wealth, like everything was going horribly wrong. And the entire time, Job maintained his position. He still worshiped God. I mean, on a surface, he still worshiped God. Never faltered in his faith. He stayed strong. He stayed true. 10 toes down for the guy with the crown. He was on it. It got to the point where Job, Job's boys, I think even his wife at some point was looking at it like, yo, man, what did you do? You had to do something. You had to do something. Cause like, why is all this happening to you? Right? I had a real quick. Y'all stay here. This, if you still here, stay here a little longer. I In this week I had a conversation with a person, and I'm telling them about what's going on. And the first thing that this person said, or maybe the second thing or the third thing, is that they brought up karma. And I love when people bring up karma when they hear some bad stuff happening, because some people tend to look at karma as their vindication. Like, yeah, that's only happened to you because you probably did something, or maybe you remember that time I asked you. They look at karma as like their big brother that's coming to beat you up because you didn't do right by them, right? And I just a little sidebar. I tend to think that's funny. Um, that you also get to see who's really rooting for you at times. Um, when you're going through it, you'll get to see, there's some people on the sideline just they don't, they waiting for the bad stuff to happen. They praying for, and it's not. I'm not saying that this person in particular was like that, but they just brought up karma, and I just thought that was funny because sometimes like people tend to swear that way, but there are those people out there who are just waiting to hear the bad news. They want to hear that you're doing wrong. And you might even go to the space in your mind and say, damn, what did I do to deserve all of this that's going on? And the crazy thing is, when God is active in your life, you're probably doing everything right, brother. You probably doing everything right. You probably going above and beyond. Good chances are, if you in a right relationship with God, I'm 100% certain that if everything look like it's falling down around you, that you got a good relationship with God. In fact, I dare say this. I dare say this, you know, and the Bible speaks about this a lot, you know. It's a guarantee that as a follower of God, of Christ, that you're going to have problems in your life. I usually start thinking when everything's going good, I usually get like, damn, nah, this is something not right. Everything going good. That's crazy because I really do have that fear. Sometimes when everything is going right, I'll be like, damn, nah, something not right. It's not right. Nah, it's not right. It's not right. This week is perfect. This let me know, like, all right, I'm back on track. God is still working on me. Because I ain't dead. He ain't done with me. I woke up today, right? People in the book of Job, it started looking so crazy for him that his friends, his wife started asking, like, yo, what did you do? And he kept trying to tell him, like, yo, I really didn't do anything. His only mistake, maybe the biggest mistake, was that at some point he questioned God. He questioned, like, yo, why? Why? And then that's when I learned that God not only has a humorous side, but he's also very sarcastic because he started asking Job questions that he knew he did not have the answer to. Do you know where the wind comes from? And he started asking, like, come on, bro, like, I can't measure this. Like, he started asking questions that he knew that Job did not have the answer to. And I'm saying all that to say, all of this, everything I'm saying right now, right? I had a quote unquote rough week. On the surface, it was a lot to fall apart about. But what did it do for me though? It showed me who's there. It showed me who my real friends were. You know, it showed me who I could rely on. It showed me that the strength that I exude, that I present on a daily basis, is genuine. I didn't fall apart. I didn't react crazy. I maintain a, a, a a very amicable relationship with everybody around me. It's very professional at the times that I needed to be. I even, even the guys the guys I had to go get my truck from that messed it up. The conversation I had with them went way better than a younger version of me, because I didn't let what I was dealing with in that moment become who I was entirely. You know, some of us can become a collection of everything that happened to you and just be reacting to all those past actions that happened to you. Or you can, like myself, and this is just me. This is just me. I'm working on this every day. I'm not saying I'm perfect, right? But I'm discovering, you know, who I am by how I react to my worst situation. And this is not the worst situation I've ever been in. It was just a really annoying week per se, right? Um, I thought that I didn't know how this was going. I didn't know how this week was going to end. I was just like, dang, bro, like what else is about to happen? What's next? What's about to happen? What's the next thing that's going to happen, bro? Like, because it was just so much happening at first. The car, it was just too much. I was looking at I'm keeping track of Drake's album. Was I'm gonna It's gonna be like a little tangent, but Drake album dropped yesterday, I believe, and I was just keeping track of that because I personally like the guy. I like the storyline of his success or what have you, but I also was like looking at how 2 years ago everybody just started coming at the guy. Rick Ross just threw a quick stray in there. Then he was just getting mad random shots from people that it was just like, dang, if you've been holding on to that long, like why you ain't been say something? You waiting for this moment for homeboy to be having a battle with him to throw this stuff in, and like you start seeing who's who and what's what when your back is against the wall. You start seeing it. You just give them time. It's gonna, it's everybody's gonna expose themselves, man. And you can just sit back, take your time. Ain't no rush, you know. Greatness takes time. Diamonds gotta wait this time, and it usually under a great deal of pressure, right? But even diamonds gotta wait to shine. I'm not in no rush. How I try to maintain my poise as adversity is coming. Like I said, I often get excited when I see what's happening, and it's the things is life is in shambles, things are falling apart, or what have you. I am bonded to a beautiful, amazing woman. My wife is, and this is not me just doing this for this, because this is the truth, and she deserves to be recognized as often as I possibly can. My wife is amazing, amazing, and I mean like seriously. As I'm dealing with all of this and this, that, and the third, and she's just like, babe, it's gonna be all right. She reminds me of the things that I tell her. Like, she's like, remember, this is not happening to you, it's happening for you. I'm like, dang, that's the hit. So my discovery, my identity, finding that purpose, who am I becoming? I'm becoming a man of God, as I should have been. And I can never really, know that I'm becoming that person unless I'm faced with the adversity as a man of God will be. That's a guarantee. When we at my job, when we get gold, somebody's trying to come in, because we buy gold. We do a lot of things. We repair, whatever you want, natural diamonds lab, but we often buy gold. People will come in selling gold, but we don't just take your word for it just because it has a 14K stamped on it. No, we gotta test that. It's like 4 different tests. We gotta do the magnet test. We gotta scratch it, put some acid on it, and then we gotta scratch beneath the surface a little bit to make sure that it's gold through and through. Basically, you gotta be tested. How I know you real? How I know you ready for? How I know you ready? Unless you get tested for it. That's what this is about. All this. You're not you're not ready for those big blessings if you're gonna fall, crash out every opportunity. You just waiting to crash out. Oh man, you can't be blessed with the most if you fall under pressure when it's the least amount of a situation. Like you gotta be prepared. And if you're not prepared, you're being prepared. Right? Hold on, bro. Don't leave before the miracle happens. Hold on 1 second. Before before I get off of this, because my wife just cooked dinner, we about to bust this down. The identity crisis most men quietly have. First of all, let's be real. A lot of guys are walking around with a borrowed identity. You know the type. You graduate, you get the job your uncle said was stable. You buy the truck, come the commercials, made it look cool, and one day you wake up thinking, wait, is this actually me? It's like ordering off the menu and realizing you hate the dish after the third bite. I feel like the point, if your identity comes from everyone else's expectations, you're building on sin. Your identity isn't what you do for money. It's who you are when no one is watching and the bills are paid. It's who you are when you're being tested, when the adversity is there. When everything is good, it's good. I'm going to give you guys 5 bullet points, 5 things, because I always want you guys to be able to take something away from anytime I come up here. I can call myself Deek the Jeweler, so I gotta drop some jewels, but I want you to pick some of these up. Take these with you. And don't say I ain't do nothing for you. I don't do this often, but when I do, it's worth the wait. Here are 5 practical ways to start reclaiming who you really are. Use these as your launch pad or as just the way to keep track of this development, this person that you're trying to become, that you're becoming, you know. And then there's some other things I will outline that's been working for me where I'm at, right? One thing, do the funeral test. Oh my gosh. You're like, what are you talking about? Where did that come from? Do this though. Imagine your own funeral. What do you want people saying about you? Like, what do you want them saying about the man that you were? Not not your job title, not the cars that you drove. I'm talking about like your character, right? This week, through all of this stuff that I'm dealing with at my job, the people I work with every day, you know, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I know they're not gonna be like, oh, that's how he gets when he's going through stuff. I didn't like how he was talking to me. Like he was snapping at the customers or well nah. I maintain poise because I'm bigger than the situations I was in. I'm bigger than all of that. And at every turn, every time, every situation, I know bigger than me is God, right? And I know that if I'm telling people that I got a relationship with God and I trust in God, I know that I got to represent what that looks like. I need people to see that relationship. I need them to know that that's who I am, no matter what I'm dealing with. I would never let my situation become me. I deal with it. I don't let it deal with me, if that makes sense. Now, you could write this down. It might be uncomfortable, but it cuts through the noise faster than any personal quiz. Number two, I would say, hold on a second. No, baby, I want you to sit at your table because I don't want you to eat the food and it starts falling down. I get it that you want to be sit at the big table because it makes you feel big, but I have you sitting at the little table that I bought for you so that you can make less of a mess. So please pick your bowl up. Ariel, sit, please have her. It's fine. It's totally fine. This is totally fine. This is nothing. I rather for her not to make a mess up there. Is that okay, babe? Asaya, don't worry, baby. It's not. You're not in trouble. This is fine. I just want you to sit there because I don't want you to make no. When you're sitting there like that, then the food falls down on you like that. That right there is with you. That's why that table's there. That's your table. Okay? And then after that, you want an icy? Okay, you're not getting no ice. You gotta eat the food and then we'll talk about it, okay? Eat the food. And I got you. I love you. I love you. Okay. All right. Number two. First one, do the funeral test to help you identify how your character is coming across. That's the first thing. Number two, audit your influences. Right? I'm a firm believer in you are or you can become what you consume. You know how they say you are what you eat? I think that you are what you consume. If what type of music you listen to, what type of movies you watch, the type of people you hang around, you start noticing, you know, if my friend that I allowed to get on my car insurance, even though I don't, we don't hang out day in and day out, I attach this person to me. I allow this person to get attached to me, and his decisions are, or he might not deal with the situations the way I deal with situations. He might not take as seriously, you know, paying his insurance or catching parking tickets. And it showed. It caught up to me. So not just audit your influences, audit the people in your life, you know. In this discovery of trying to find out who you are, you really want to know. One of the ways you can see who you are, who you hang around with. Who are you with? What are they doing? You know? If you're in one space, and don't get me wrong, if y'all all in cahoots and y'all doing the same thing, then you already know what time it is. But if you are trying to do other things, you're trying to find yourself in better positions, if you feel like, you know, if you ever find yourself being the smartest person in the room and there's nobody around you that you can actually learn from, and this is your day to day, every day, you're in the wrong room. That's not a good thing. So don't just audit your influences, audit the people that's around you. Audit the people you can influence. See who it is that you have around you that you're influencing. And if you're not in the right path, if you're not lining up, you want to think about, damn, how is what I'm doing going to affect this person, how they're coming up? Because as a man, it is our responsibility to leave behind a lasting, fulfilling legacy of greatness. That's how I see myself. That's how I see myself. Me personally. You want to be regular? Me, cool. But my first thing I say when I meet people, I'm a man of God. That's the first thing you're going to hear from me. And then by, by default, when I tell a person that, I tell them that for two reasons. First, because I am, but it also holds me to a higher standard here. So every time I'm around that person, I remember this is my first meeting with this person. First thing I said to this person, I'm holding myself to that standard. So anytime I have an interaction with that person, or I'm around that person, or that person's catching wind of something that I did over here, my biggest thing is that, did you see the God in me? Did you see him in the way I spoke, in the way I addressed you, the way I dealt with this situation? I digress. I don't want to get too deep on y'all right now. I ain't trying to. I ain't trying to beat y'all down. All right. Number 3. Try new things deliberately. This is just. These are my 5 things. In discovering identity and purpose, who are you becoming? Try new things on purpose. This week, I tried a Bible study with my wife. You know, usually, I mean, my pattern, my habit was going into a building and having a person speak the word to me. You know, congregating, being around other people, fellowshipping. You know, have I done a Bible study before? Yes, but this is something that this is new because now I have a partner in life, and this is something new, and I wanted to try this with her, and we give it to the children. Something I want my children to build their own convictions. It's not something I'm just feeding to them. It's something that I want them to develop their own convictions as well. But am I going to introduce it to them 100%? What kind of parent would I be if I didn't? Um, but outside of trying new things in that way, I'm just saying, period. Just try new things. I don't care. Sign up for a class. The hobby. Challenge yourself. Something that scares you a little. You might discover you love it or hate it. Either way, you learn something real about yourself. Bonus, failing publicly builds better stories than never trying. True story. True story. Number 4, ask the hard question daily. And this is a question I ask myself often and frequently. Does this choice align with the man I want to become? Now, a year ago, I wasn't asking that question. When I allowed my friend to get on my car insurance, and now how that kind of like spiraled into where it is now, I wasn't asking that question. But I ask myself that question often and frequently now. And I ask myself that question with the most minuscule thing. I ask myself that. Like, damn, is this is this choice that I'm about to make aligning with the man I'm trying to become? And the answer is no, that it makes it easier for me to just cut that out. That's helped me walk away from, quote unquote friendships that didn't have any benefit to me, even if it wasn't, again, it's not about, if I could benefit something materialistically, financially, sometimes intellectually, sometimes it's just as, um, what do I get from being a friend with a person who's living a lifestyle that's not aligned with mine, and being around this person, or even being, in cahoots with this person in any way, can jeopardize me and what I got going. I ask myself that question often and frequently. Does this choice align with the man I become? I want to become. Use it before big decisions, career moves, relationships, even when you eat. It's simple, but it compounds like crazy. It builds on itself. And number 5, find a mirror, literally and figuratively speaking, and get honest feedback from a trusted brother or mentor. Not the yes men, not them people who going to always tell you that you was right, you're perfect. Get a person, get those people around you that's gonna call you out on your nonsense, on your BS. You need those type of people around you. For me, that person is my friend Brian, the guy, my guy at work. First thing he said to me, um, when all this was, when the week started, and I was telling him how things was coming back to back to back, was, last year, a little bit over a year, probably around last year around this time, a little bit over a year actually. I had made some decisions. I was trying to, do other things that I shouldn't have. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been. I'm hanging around people doing things, and by the grace of God, I kind of like, I'm here with, everything is good, chilling, staying out the way. Woo, woo. Um, But him being my guy, we talk. I tell him, and so, kind of like with the karma thing I was talking about earlier, he said to me, like, man, maybe this could be because first on the third, you know. And he also, was like, this is this is good that this is happening in this way and not another way. But it also brought to mind that when I started to go off course, he was the first one to be like, yo, I mean, that shit sound good until it sound bad. And I was like, no, no, man, no, I got this figured out. Like, all right. You need somebody to pull you up, let you know when you about to crash out, and hold you to that standard that you say that you want, or this man that you're trying to become. They're gonna make sure that you're on that path. Growth hurts, but regret hurts more. I've been there, feeling lost in my own life, trying to figure it out. The moment I stopped performing for everybody else and started asking, who am I when I'm alone? Everything shifted. For me, this week was the test. This was the test. This was a test to see if who I say I am, who I think I am in my mind, who I see when I look in the mirror, Am I that guy? Am I becoming that guy for real? Is that guy really there? There was a different version, different versions of me. You know, I hear the thoughts, some of the same thoughts I used to have. Some of the times I want to react. Now, don't get me wrong. There is a version of me that I don't think will ever die. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. There's a version of me that I don't think will ever go away. And I save him for rainy days. And he's only there because I have an ultimate role as a man, to protect and provide. That's my Malcolm X version. By any means, he exists. I think he's necessary. Evil is necessary sometimes. I think he's necessary. But I say that as a caveat to the main, point of this is identifying, you know, identifying who you are, who you're trying to become, and even knowing that that version of me exists, and I know that that's a version of me that will never die. Do I feed that version more? No, of course not. I'm feeding the version of me that I want to grow and that I want to be healthy and I want to prosper. That's the version of me that I focus on day in and day out, that I have daily conversations with. Purpose isn't some magical lightning bolt. It's usually hiding and what you keep coming back to even when it's hard. A lot of guys chase success thinking it'll fill some void. Newsflash. You can hit six figures and still feel empty if it's not tied to something bigger than your ego. In my case, I seen the money, lots of it, and I know what it's like to have quote unquote everything and feel like you have nothing at all. My truest purpose in my heart, my biggest purpose is music. I love, love music. I love creating. I love writing it. I love hearing it, and I love it more when it comes from a real place. Where I'm at right now, you know, this is the realest place. Being vulnerable in front of y'all, calling, coming up here and talking about what's really going on, what's real. A lot of times I come on Facebook and I see everybody's best version. Everybody's doing great. And that's great. And then, I wish, I hope, and I pray for everybody's success every day. When I go to bed, I'm praying for you, everybody. People that I would at one point in my life considered enemies. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for everybody. I want everybody to win. Seriously, not like Rick Ross just said about Drake, but me. I really want you to win. I really do. But I also know that life be life. I'm always gonna give you this verse. I don't care what's going on. I'm doing good. It's funny. I really don't run to this when I'm doing good. I kind of like stray away from even trying to show off a version of myself where everything is looking good because um that's not that's not that's not the full story. Like I said, when everything is going good, you ain't got nothing to complain about. It's good to, it's easy to pray and say that you're blessed when everything is going good. I'm telling you right now, this was a quote unquote rough week. And I feel even more blessed because I know God got an eye on me and he's allowing certain things to happen because he's refining me. Diamonds gotta wait to shine. And when it's my time, I ain't gonna waste it. Period. I think I think I said what I had to say tonight. I was really excited to come up here and talk about this. I really didn't even know how I was gonna approach this, man. I was like, dang, man. I'm dodging coming up here talking about this, discovering purpose and identity, who you're really becoming. I really didn't. I was like, man, oh, I really want to talk about this. I want to tell them what's going on in my life. And my wife had two miscarriages, and we working on a third, and almost Sometimes I'll be afraid to tell people good news, man, because there's so much negative energy out there. People just waiting to hear bad news, bro. They be waiting. You don't even want to put your life out there because sometimes feel like that negative energy that just sticks, man. People just sitting there like just brooding over your successes. It's weird, man. It's weird, and I don't see how people spend so much time hating on people that hating ain't gonna add nothing to your life. It ain't gonna help you out. You being mad at me or what's going on. And I'm not even saying I got haters like that because I doubt very highly I am. I mean, I'm a lovable guy, so I can't see that. But people, in my experience, people tend to. That's just the society we in right now. People like to hear of the mishaps and misfortunes before they shout out people's successes, man. Like I said, I take Drake for an example, man. It's like homeboy just, they just came out of nowhere. So many people just started jumping into that whole situation. And I even homeboy, what's his name? K Dot. Like, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I know for a fact that, in the beginning of his career, Drake brought him on his tour, all of that. Like, you'll never know, man. You'll have people around you who feel like they deserve your spot, who deserve what you got, but ain't willing to put in the work like you did. They didn't have to deal with being shunned or told that you don't just like everybody got their own time. Everybody got their own spot. You can't have a desire for something that's not yours. That's called envy. Like, you gotta go get it. I'm doing it. I'm waiting for my time. And it's only gonna happen when I'm ready for it. 5 things you can actually do this week. Takeaway number one: write your personal man code. 5 non-negotiable values. Keep it visible. Write down things that you are unwilling to change. Positive things that you are unwilling to, you know, deviate from for any reason. These are the 5 things I'm sticking to. Number two, schedule one activity that scares you but feels authentic. I gotta do that. Cut one influence that makes you question your worth. Ooh, dang. Or I'll even add to that. I don't know how to say this, but like I said, you got to do an audit of the people around you. An audit, like tax. They audit people sometimes, right? And they just go through all your stuff. Go through the list of people that 5 people that you come in contact on a daily basis. If you have that many people, that's a lot of people. But and Start doing an assessment of the people around you. You know, I assure you, there's people that's in your life that I wouldn't consider. You know, I wouldn't want to use the word like dead weight and stuff like that, but there's definitely some actions as a man that you can take that can minimize the access that people have to you that they shouldn't. Being attached to certain people can be the one reason that you're not where you need to be. People don't speak the life into you that you need, right? They're not speaking life into their own life. So you can't even expect that. And I'm not saying that you have to have people around you that just there for that. But when it's genuine, when it's real, when you got real people around you, bro, they're gonna talk. They're gonna talk life into you because they see that light that's in you that you're not living. And that hurts. That's love. Every time I get on the phone with my brother TC, we'll have conversations. I could just call him and just talk. And then that conversation tend to go somewhere where he knows something that I'm passionate about. I feel like 13-year-old Daheem again. And he's telling me, Lord, you gotta do like, and he's constantly for years. I'm 40, 30 years now. 30 years, same conversations because it's still the same love. And he still see that same version of me. He still sees that there's an opportunity. He still see the window of opportunity there. And he does not feel like that is something that's going to be limited by age, you know. But that's a real one from a day one. That's a person that's in my life that, you know, consequently I reach out to also as a mirror, somebody who's always going to tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to. 100%. What was that? Number three, number four, journal one win and one lesson every night for 7 days. Ooh, that's fire. One win and one lesson every day for 7 days. Okay. Okay. Tell one brother what you're working on. Accountability beats motivation. My brothers, um, discovering purpose and identity isn't a one time event, bro. It's a lifelong conversation with yourself. I'm still doing this every day, man. I'm out here every day, bro. I try my bestest not to complain. When it's getting real serious, when I feel like it's so much coming at me, I'm not gonna lie and act like it doesn't affect me. But the silver lining for me is knowing that it's not for nothing. That I mean me knowing my relationship with God, that's my foundation. So me knowing that as a person, as a man of God, I know that this is gonna happen because there's a blessing waiting for me and I'm being prepared for it. I'm being prepared. Are you the man that you say you are? Because if you are, this is what he deserves. This is what I got for him. This is the blessing. This is how God is, I view it as like God is saying, I have this blessing for you. Now, are you the man that deserves this blessing? Well, I'm gonna allow this to happen to see how you react when this is happening. Because this man that deserves this is gonna react a certain way. Is he still gonna stay faithful? Is he gonna fall to pieces? Is he gonna crash out? Is he gonna, you know? Because this man that deserved this blessing wouldn't do any of that. He's gonna still walk righteously. He's still gonna love. He's still gonna be respectful. He's still gonna teach and educate his children. He's gonna treat his wife with all the love and respect that she deserves. He's not gonna talk crazy about it. Even when people was coming at him left, how's he gonna respond? And I'm always human. I'm gonna do my best, man. As a man, I'm about to end this, but I will say this here home, share it with a brother who you feel needs to hear this. Somebody who might feel stuck. Um, Follow me on As a Man on YouTube. All my episodes are gonna go up there. I got a few things in the works right now, but I'm just taking it one day at a time. Be happy that y'all got this tonight, because I really was like, nah, I could do this tomorrow, and they keep on dragging and dragging and dragging. So I mean, y'all can look forward to seeing a lot more up here on Facebook, because I feel like I got a lot of people here too. But really, As a Man on YouTube, that thing, the thing is shaking up over there. I got a lot of people. That's weird. I got mad people on Twitch, and I have that count like a lot, like 70,000. It's like a lot of people over there, and I think that's because um when I first came home, I was doing the gaming thing, and I've been talking a lot of smack. So I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just happy that I was able to get this off. Um, I just want to leave y'all with this though, man. Don't worry, man. It get greater later. If you're going through a tumultuous time, you feel like it's all falling, like things is not the way you want. It is back to back to back to back. It just feels like you just can't get right. You can't get a chance. You can't. Something is brewing for you. And I tell you, like my wife told me, this is not happening to you. It's happening for you. But are you ready for the blessing? Are you ready for the blessing, bro? I want all you brothers and sisters, do your best to be good. But if you can't be good, be great. I'm out of here. I love y'all. If I don't see you tomorrow, or the next few days, just know I'm thinking about you and I'm praying for you. Y'all at a fella, holla at me. You gotta whisper.
We were young and dumb, but we had fun too. I'm from. We had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in a fast lane. We had to show no love. We gave love a bad name. A bad name. Oh. Shots rang off, cops up in your hood. Youngers always dumb and always up to no good. Can't seem to stop dying, all you hear is cop sirens. They selling dreams that the hood is not buying. But who are you to judge if you ain't never had to sell drugs or had to use a gun to spill blood? When we kept it real before we knew what real was. If my nigga ride for me, man, I call that real love. I seen that 45 smoking, shooter only about 15. Killed him, left him with his eyes open. Last thing he seen was that young man approaching with murder in his eyes. Like when I see him, I'm a ghosting. Gotta make you see it, so you ain't gotta watch the 5 o'clock news or hit the newsstands to read it. Cause around my way, this is everyday life. It's the feeling of the day, it's the rhythm of the night. We were young and dumb, we had fun too. I'm from. We had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in a fast lane. We had to show no love. We gave love a bad name. A bad name. Oh, living in a fast lane. We had to show no love. We gave love a bad name. La, 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 la. The silence I was outside of my spot. Made me stop bagging, peek through the blinds. Just in time to see the cops passing. Somebody said that somebody dead down the block. Laying down shot, and people gathered on a watch to see what's happening. These are questioning people to see who clocked them hustlers. Sit back to see who's right. Paramedics arrived. They start to red tape the scene. They killed my baby. Was all I heard this lady scream. It was a fiend, and the baby they killed was 15. It seems he chose the wrong means to get the cream. She was high, but the news must have made her sober. Right now she fighting with police, trying to knock him over. To get closer, cause every second her baby turning colder. She broke down, I went to hold her. She gon' need a shoulder. Sad to see somebody die. Words small when they mamas cry. Bloody homicide.
We were young and dumb, but we had fun too. Where I'm from, we had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in the fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name, a bad name. Oh, living in the fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name. La 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 la. We were young and dumb, but we had fun too. Where I'm from, we had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in a fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name, a bad name. Oh, shots rang off, cops up in your hood. Youngers always dumb and always up to no good. Can't seem to stop dying, all you hear is cop sirens. They're selling dreams that the hood is not buying. But who are you to judge if you ain't never had to sell drugs or had to use a gun to spill blood? When we kept it real before we knew what real was. If my nigga ride for me, man, I call that real love. I seen that 45 smoking, shooter only about 15. Killed him, left him with his eyes open. Last thing he seen was that young man approaching with murder in his eyes. Like when I see him, I'm a ghosting. Gotta make you see it, so you ain't gotta watch the 5 o'clock news or hit the newsstands to read it. Cause around my way, this is everyday life. It's the feeling of the day, it's the rhythm of the night. We were young and dumb, but we had fun too. Where I'm from, we had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in a fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name, a bad name. Oh, living in a fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name. La 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 la.
The silence I was outside of my spot. Made me stop bagging, peek through the blinds. Just in time to see the cops passing. Somebody said that somebody dead down the block. Laying down shot, and people gathered on a watch to see what's happening. These are questioning people to see who clocked them hustlers. Sit back to see who's right. Paramedics arrived. They start to red tape the scene. They killed my baby. Was all I heard this lady scream. It was a fiend, and the baby they killed was 15. It seems he chose the wrong means to get the cream. She was high, but the news must have made her sober. Right now she fighting with police, trying to knock him over. To get closer, cause every second her baby turning colder. She broke down, I went to hold her. She gon' need a shoulder. Sad to see somebody die. Words small when they mamas cry. Bloody homicide.
We were young and dumb, but we had fun too. Where I'm from, we had to carry guns, no telling what we might do. Living in the fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name, a bad name. Oh, living in the fast lane, we had to show no love. We gave love a bad name.